We are going to discuss how to accurately track your calories for weight loss. I need to get back into the swing of things. Me starting my new job and dealing with change. I'm not the best person when it comes to dealing with change. I just struggle a lot. So I took a couple weeks to just adjust to the new routine. For those of you who don't know, I'm a new home construction plumber. In plumbing, there are 3 divisions. There's residential, commercial, and service. Service is the type of plumbing you probably everyone's used to. That's where the plumber comes into your house and fixes a leak. I'm doing residential plumbing, so I'm in new home construction. I'm pretty much on a construction site. I'm hauling pipe, I'm drilling through holes, drilling through wood, and the whole lot. So it's a bit different and it's more taxing on the body than, let's say, service plumbing. So I've been trying to figure out and adjust to this new way of life. And I thought I would do this how-to video to help A, keep myself focused, and B, to give you guys tips on how to start tracking your calories for weight loss, how to properly do it, because throughout the years I've learned how to do it, but it's a matter of not knowing sometimes with me, but doing, because I do struggle with a whole bunch of issues like BED and mental health, but I don't let that stop me because I was able to make this transformation. As you guys see, I've lost over 70 pounds on this journey while dealing with chronic pain and mental health issues. Anyway, enough about me. Let's jump into what you'll need to accurately track your calories. There are 4 things that you need. Number 1, you need a food scale. Number 2, you need a tracking app on your phone. Number 3, you need access to the internet. And number 4, you need a scale. We're gonna go through 3 steps on how to accurately count calories. Step number 1, you need to find your maintenance calories. In order to find your maintenance calories, you need to know 3 things. Number 1, you need to know your BMR. Number 2, you need to know your total daily activity. And number 3, you need to know your TDEE, which is basically your total daily energy expenditure. It's all the calories you burn from your basal metabolic rate and your total daily activity. First things first, let's find out our BMR. To find out your BMR, you simply go to bmrcalculator.org and you enter in your age, height, gender, and weight, and then it gives you your basal metabolic rate, or your BMR. Once you have your BMR, you have to know your total daily activity. And this is broken down into 5 categories. There's the sedentary category, so those are people who have desk jobs or people who do not work out a lot. There is a lightly active category for people who work out 1 to 3 days a week. There is a moderately active category for people who work out 3 to 5 days a week. There is an active category for people who work out 6 to 7 days a week, or a very active category. And there is an extra active category. So those are people who are athletes or people who have a very intense job, a very physical job, and people who work out 6 to 7 days a week. For myself personally, I'm gonna put myself in the very active category and not in the extra active category or the athlete category, the last category. Even though my job is very physical, I think we'll go with very active just to be safe than sorry. But for you, figure out what that is and choose that factor. Once you have that factor, you multiply it to get your total daily energy expenditure, or your maintenance calories. Or if you're not good at math or you don't feel like multiplying it at all, simply go to tdeecalculator.net and it will do it all for you. You enter in the same thing you do for the BMR calculator, your age, your height, your weight, etc. But they also have the category, so they just do the multiplication for you. Once you have your maintenance calories, you need to figure out how many calories you need to consume in a day for weight loss. And in order to do that, you have to figure out your caloric deficit. Now, it's recommended that we lose 0.5 to 1% of our body weight per week. If you are overweight or obese, you can bring this up to 1.5% per week. So let's figure out how much weight we want to lose per week. So let's use my weight as an example. We're gonna pick the happy medium of losing 1% of my body weight per week. So in order to figure that out, you simply multiply your body weight by 1% or 0.01. For me, that gives me a weight loss of 2 pounds per week. 1 pound of body weight is approximately 3,500 calories. So if I want to lose 2 pounds per week, I need to multiply 3,500 by 2. That gives me 7,000 calories. So in order to lose 2 pounds per week, I need to be in a deficit of 7,000 calories a week. To break that down, we want to know the daily calories because we don't count things on a weekly basis. It's easier to count things on a daily basis. So in order to figure out what my deficit is for the day, I simply divide that by 7, which gives me an 1,000 calorie deficit per day. Now, for weight loss and building muscle, it's recommended that you don't go more than a 1,000 deficit per day. You want to stick between 500 and 1,000. Or even when you're starting off your weight loss journey or you're trying to get back on track like me, you want to go in the lower range between 5 to 1,000 because A, you won't lose any muscle in that, and B, it's a good sustainable weight loss number. Remember, slow weight loss is the best weight loss because we keep it off longer. Slow is still forward. This is not a race. If we get into the mindset that we need to drop 10 pounds a week, we're really setting ourselves up for failure. So I'm going back to basics with this to help me stay focused because it's been really hard lately with my adjustment with work. Anyway, I need to be in a 1,000 calorie deficit. So my maintenance calories is 2,944 calories based on the calculations we did earlier. In order to figure out my daily caloric goals, I need to subtract 1,000 from that. 2,944 minus 2,000 equals 1,944 calories. So in order for me to lose 2 pounds per week, I should be consuming 1,944 calories a day. Now, with all these calculations, you will not know unless you experiment this in the real world because everyone's different. Things change. So many things affect weight loss, such as sleep, stress, macros. For me personally, when I tend to go higher protein and lower carb, I seem to be on par with all of this. Everyone's different. It is calories in, calories out. Of course, you cannot destroy the law of thermodynamics, but there are other factors that come into play. Now that you know how to find your maintenance calories and you know how to figure out your caloric deficit, we are going to focus on how to accurately count your calories for weight loss. This is where people tend to mess up because they misread nutrition labels. Nutrition labels lie. So the accuracy part of this comes with having your food scale handy and a tracking app. So I'm going to show you some examples and let's get it done. So personally, I like to use MyFitnessPal. If I'm doing keto or a lower carb, or I want to focus more on my carbs, I use Carb Manager. But I should note that MyFitnessPal Premium now has an option where you can, emphasize the carbs, but I'm not paying for premium anymore, so we'll just use Carb Manager if that happens. So this is what I mean by nutrition labels lie. Here is a piece of naan bread. I like to use these naan breads to make a healthy pizza, which I will be making today. At the back of the nutrition label, it states that one flatbread is 125 grams. Normally, what people would do is just grab a flatbread and put it on and divvy it out. Don't do that because not everything in a pack is going to be the weight that the nutrition label says. Because nutrition labels lie, or because at the factory, how can they really make everything so precise? You know what I mean? So always weigh out your food. This is why we need a food scale. And when you tend to eat foods that are more whole in nature, this makes calorie tracking easier because a pound of chicken is always going to be the same calories as a pound of chicken. Whereas 2 slices of bread isn't always going to be the same amount of calories as the next 2 slices of bread because they weigh differently. So this is why people who tend to do diets like keto, whole foods, or vegan, they tend to be more successful or be on the successful side. It's because they're eating whole foods. Like keto, you're eliminating a whole macronutrient group. Plant-based, you're eliminating meats. So when you're eliminating certain things from your diet, you're obviously going to reduce your caloric intake. It is, at the end of the day, still calories in, calories out. So with that being said, let's do this flatbread example. So as you can see here, 125 grams. This is where the food scale comes in handy as Bo makes her way over here. No dogs, no food. You had enough food. Anyway, so we got the scale set to grams. Let's weigh it out. We are getting 128 grams where it says 125 grams. Now that matters, guys, because if you're eating multiple of these or you're doing this, you know, for multiple types of things, it's going to add up. The little things add up. And that's where people are like, calories in and calories out doesn't work. It does work. It's just that you're not tracking properly because we weren't taught how to do so. So let's grab another piece of flatbread and see how much that weighs. Scales at 0. Holy crap, are you kidding me? See, this one's 140 grams when the label literally says 125 grams. You see that, guys? That is why it's so important to weigh everything out. That is insane. That's absolutely insane. I just had to double check that. Jeez Louise. This is why we weigh out our food. Another example, sometimes it can go a little less. So for my big little bread here, this is what I pack for my lunches. It states that, if I can get this to focus, it states that 2 slices are 43 grams. Let's test that out. Here, it's a little less. It's 41 grams. Now, there's some times where I get to 46 grams with this thing. So that's an example of a nutrition label underreporting what it is. But usually these are 36. I think it's because I just opened up the pack, so who knows. But you see, they also vary in size, as you can tell. So that's why it's so important to weigh it out. So I've got this Sans Daniel prosciutto here, and this is another example of how nutrition labels can be off. Here it says 3 slices of prosciutto is 30 grams. Now let's test that out. Got 1 slice, 2 slices, which is, guys, this is insane. I'm at 2 slices of prosciutto right now and it's 44 grams. I got this prosciutto because I know how messed up it is. Let's get to the 3rd slice. That is way more than 30 grams per 3 slices, if I can grab the 3rd slice. Let me put you guys down for a second. So, 3 slices of prosciutto is actually 56 grams. Like, that is insane. That is so far off. Extremely far off. Extremely. And the reason why this happens is how you pull out the prosciutto. Some of the old ones get stuck. So this is why it's so important to weigh. Like, it just makes it more accurate as possible. Yes, it's an extra step, but eventually you'll get into a rhythm to understand what foods that you need to pay more attention to than others. Another example I have here is this protein pancake mix from Wally World. So at the back here, it says half a cup serving, 200 grams. Now, what people would do is they would literally get one of those measuring cups, measure up half a cup, or they would put it on the scale and measure up half a cup. But what they're neglecting is right here, this 61 grams. So half a cup of this is not actually half a cup, it's 61 grams. You want to weigh your food out in grams in order to accurately count your calories for weight loss. Anything that's dry, you want to use grams. Anything that's wet, you want to use milliliters because you are more accurate when you do so. Don't use cups. Ounces are okay for things like steak and whole foods like meats and stuff. You can use ounces. But anything else, like anything that's non-whole foods, like this stuff, use grams because that's how close you are going to get to accuracy. So here for this waffle mix, as you can see, 61 grams. Now let's turn that to cups. Now this is the same 61 grams measured in cups. If you actually went by the nutrition label and you ignored the grams and you just used the half a cup, you would be getting twice the serving. So instead of 200 calories, you would be getting 400 calories. I actually made that mistake with this guy before. I measured in cups instead of using the grams. So this is why it's so important to always use grams. If you learned something new today, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Daniela and I'm currently on a journey to lose 100 pounds while building muscle at the same time. Right now I'm gonna focus more on fat loss because my job is kicking my butt and I'm probably gonna build muscle through my job anyway. And I'm basically documenting my journey here. It's just not about weight loss, it's about mental health. It's about the whole package, mind, body, and soul. I do how-to videos like this and I also do vlogs and weekly what I eat in the day videos sometimes. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you guys enjoyed the video, smash that like button as it helps me out tremendously. Also, if you made it this far into the end of the video, please type in the word food scale because that is so key when it comes to accurately tracking your calories, or just pop in a bunch of scale emojis below. Anyway, thank you so much and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.